everybody.
Hey, how we doing?
Welcome to the Wrestling Through the Years podcast. I'm Dan. I'm Dizzle.
I'm Dutchy.
I'm MoneyE.
It would have been funnier if you would have said Danielle.
MoneyE's here. Money electric, money erection, money
Erectile dysfunction.
Yep, all that. And we're here to talk some wrestling.
Yep.
We're here for the Wrestling Through the Years podcast to talk AEW and not new.
When it was good.
Well. A lot of people still. If you like putting spikes in people's backs, it is good. If you like giving a man hepatitis, then it is good. But
he probably already had it.
Probably spread it to Wheeler. But listen, AEW, a fun company to watch for its 5 years. We thought it'd be cool to go back, so we're talking AEW Revolution 2020.
Yep.
And there was a lot of fascinating things about going back and watching this pay-per-view because AEW in the last 5 years, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, you got to admit it has changed a little bit. Things have gotten a little, I won't say like in a negative or a positive way, but like the product now is a little different from the product back then. And the way, no, you're not coming in yet. The way they've been doing it, they still have some good wrestling, some good wrestlers, and some different stars. And the most fascinating thing to me about this pay-per-view is that the main event, because the two guys in it were the two guys that really helped build the early days of AEW. And now it's the two people that everybody is fucking sick of now and want to go away.
Isn't it ironic that 5 years later?
That's the crazy thing, because this is Jericho, Le Champion, a little bit of the bubbly inner circle. Like, he was on a great run, and he was over as fuck as the first heel champion. Jericho did mean a lot to that company starting off. No matter, I know they're sick of him now, and I know the learning tree, I know. But back then, he was kind of still the man. His body looked like shit, but he was still the man. And Moxley was a hot over babyface that everybody, when he won at the end and he's raising up that title, it feels like a new fucking era, baby. Like fucking people were excited. Everybody.
That's a Moxley we miss.
That crowd went fucking off. So the position those two were in then, and to think that they are now, the perception wise, is just insane.
Yeah.
So my thing about both of them, it's not necessarily them. It's what they're involved with.
Yeah.
Yes.
If Chris Jericho didn't have the learning, like Brian Keith, who the fuck is Brian Keith? Like, fuck Brian Keith. He doesn't belong here. He belongs on Ring of Honor's TV program because nobody watches it.
The Bad Apple?
Yeah. He's an apple. He's an apple with a worm in it. Big Cass, Big Bill, Big Boob. Like, get rid of those guys and give Jericho two relevant guys, and I think the learning tree would be fine.
What happened to Sammy?
Huh?
He's in Ring of Honor tagging with Dustin.
Yeah, he's Dustin's tag team championship partner in Ring of Honor.
The Sons of Texas.
And as far as Moxley goes and the Death, if you get rid of the Death Riders, Jon Moxley will be watchable again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how you get rid of him. I don't care if Roderick Strong has to drop a plugged-in toaster in the bathtub while Marina's taking a bath or what. But get rid of the Death Riders, especially Shafir.
A lot of people will say, especially Wheeler.
Well, here's the thing. Wheeler, they all suck.
A lot of people hate Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah, I do too. Claudio Castagnoli hasn't been good since him and Sheamus were playing with each other's pool sticks back in 2017. Or pool cues or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
What I mean to say is penis.
I'm just trying to.
But like, the bastard pack. Send him back to England again because he's probably going to go back soon anyway because he doesn't know how to buy a home here in the States. Wheeler Yuta, get rid of him. Marina Shafir, get rid of her. Moxley would be fine. The Death Riders is what's dragging him down. The learning tree is what's dragging Jericho down. I don't know what Tony Khan was thinking or if it was these guys' ideas. But it's one of those. It's a couple of those things where it's just like they were good, but then you stuck them with this shit. Now people are starting to realize, they're taking it out on them, even though it's more the people they're with than it is them.
Hey, and I agree completely with the Death Riders. The learning tree is a little bit of a different story because the only guy in that group that can get any sort of reaction is Big Bill. And Big Bill, I hate the name, but Cass has always had something. And you've seen it in numerous times. Like that fucking All In crowd, he was the hottest guy on the night.
Yeah.
And I know it's just because they remembered him from WWE, but still, the United Kingdom fucked with Big Bill, dude. And he is like, and when him and Hobbs go at it, I don't think he's the problem. I mean, the bad apple, you don't need him. I mean, I think he's a funny guy to put people over, but and some of the shit he says is hilarious, but he's not like a big part of the show, in my opinion. I think Jericho's the issue there. I think Jericho's about done now. There's only so many reinventions till it's over, and I think it's over. I love Jericho and I love his work, and I haven't turned on him like everybody. I still kind of like the hi guys. That shit can be funny, but I do think like
I like it when it irritates people I don't like.
But it makes sense because it's on the second match of the card now, and that's where he belongs. When he's in the main event of Collision, it's like, oh. But when he's like doing the second, it's like, all right, if he's doing underneath shit, then I don't hate it because he's kind of an underneath guy. Now, that's underneath stuff.
He shouldn't be Ring of Honor World Champion.
No.
Yeah, but shouldn't be champion.
That's a whole can of worms. But fucking Chris Jericho, I think I agree with the Moxley. I also think Moxley needs to take 5 months off. Go hang out with Renee and chill.
He hadn't taken. I don't think he's taking time off since he got
make some money, take some time, make people love him again. Because Moxley is a talented, fucking awesome guy, awesome worker, awesome promo. That I get it, and I get the angst and the anger with him, and the not wanting him in the main event scene anymore. Because you got to think, he's been the AEW champion a few times now, more than anybody.
4 times.
He's interim champion, 3 or 4. So he's kind of been surrounding that scene for a while now. And I think I do like him, and I think he does fit on the show. But I think he might have to go away for a little bit and come back.
As a babyface.
I agree with the rest of the riders. Marina could do something in the women's division. I don't know. Wheeler, I don't see anything in. And Claudio, like you said, his best days are behind him, man. Yeah. I don't see anything in Claudio.
Well, and that's the thing. No problem. And Pac is good. I'm not saying Pac is bad.
He shouldn't even be in the group because he's not there enough.
Yeah. Like he wants to go home because he didn't want to buy a home in the States. I bet you once somebody points that out to our beloved president, Pac will probably never be allowed back in the country. But like the rest of them, it's just like, okay, you all suck. Marina, you want to be a rider? Go home, ride your husband.
She's got a look to her though, like an intimidating. Well,
here's the thing.
Trio championship.
She could be like a badass female, like a China to a pussy heel. You know, like if Max Caster had her services or something.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. WWE did right by getting rid of their annoying bitch and Sonya Deville. AEW do the same thing.
Yeah, you don't see nothing in her.
No, not at all.
I see a little something in her. Claudio, I completely agree with you on. Claudio, I don't know where he lost it, but he lost it. The whole 80s movie villain thing, I hate. I feel like he's just trying to be like a fucking action hero all the time. And the way his promo, the way, like, even the way he wrestles now, it just feels kind of, it's not the same. When he was over, I was really into him, and I thought WWE should have done something bigger. But now, seeing him now, I can see why they didn't. Because I'm just not a fan. I really, when I see a Claudio match, I'm like, he's an all right in the ring wrestler, like in between, but even now he's just an older version of himself. I don't see it as much. Yeah. Moxley is the money to that group. but Moxley is the main guy that people are kind of annoyed with and kind of sick of.
Yeah.
So you might have to just do an insane match. Maybe he's going to be out with the Spike thing. And that's one thing that's the only current thing, because this is an all AEW episode, obviously. And before we get into the old stuff, AEW, I'll give it to them. They made headlines this week because the friends of mine that don't even watch wrestling were sending me this video. And that's of Edge, Adam Copeland, beating the shit out of fucking the Death Riders. And he has a big 2x4 with spikes all over it. And
called Spike, by the way.
Yeah, it's called Spike. And Spike did his job. He nailed Moxley with it a couple times, but then he put it on the ground, and then he slammed Moxley onto it. And then the real life metal thing got stuck in Moxley's real life back. And you can see it on camera. There's no faking that. Wheeler Yuta comes to try to help him. And you see the video when you watch. It's so eerie and disgusting of Wheeler pulling at it and the fucking skin of his back coming out with it, and you see the blood and it's starting to pus out a little bit. And Moxley's like, stop it! I don't know if I read his lips correctly, but it sure as damn well the camera, I think, completely caught him looking at Wheeler and saying, "Go do the spot." Because that's what I heard him say. Yeah. I don't know if you guys caught that. But when I was watching it, I was looking at Moxley's lips, and I could have sworn, because I was trying to figure out what he said to Wheeler, and I could have sworn he said, "Go do the spot." And that's when Wheeler runs out and then fucking gets put through the table by Edge. So that's exactly what I thought I saw. Maybe he was just yelling like, "Stop fucking!" but I could have sworn he just told him to go do the spot. So then the referee kind of, wiggled it out and fucking, but dude, it was a crazy scene. It's making headlines. People are still shitting on it because apparently NXT beat it in the ratings this week, but still, I don't have the official numbers, so I don't know. But I think AEW, the counterpoint to this, because I know everybody, and like your Cornets are going to shit all over it and everybody else is going to shit on this thing. The one thing I will say, AEW has prided itself on being an alternative. WWE is not doing that right now. No. They are not going to do that. They will never do that. Yep. So that is an alternative. That is something you will not see on WWE television ever. They've done some extreme stuff in the past, and they're doing blood again, but they're not going to do that. No. They're not going to put spikes in a guy's back.
And a couple other things that I've seen that I do kind of have to address. For anybody, all right, this page on Facebook called the Squared Circle is going around spreading a rumor that Jamie Hayter has been fired from AEW, that she's been released.
Okay.
I didn't see that one.
All right. She tweeted, because Sean Ross then tweeted out and said, "I'm going to have a full report on what's going on with Jamie Hayter later."
Yeah.
And then she responded to him and said, "Save your damn time. I am home. I am in England or in the UK. But I'm here because my visa expired and I got to get it figured out." So, and then Sean Ross Sapp confirmed it. He went on the air anyway, even though she told him to fuck off. And he went and did his report anyway and said, yeah, she is like, the only reason why she's taking independent bookings right now is because she has to work. They're getting it cleared up. She's going to be back on AEW television as soon as it clears up.
Yeah.
But she's not fired. Her visa just ran out.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a rumor that was done.
And then that thing happened with Pac a couple years ago when he first started.
Yeah, and it's happened to Wade Barrett before too. Yeah. It's happened to Wade Barrett three or four times.
No.
It happens. Your visa expires. Yeah, I don't know how long they actually get renewed for.
I think it's 3 or 6 months.
Well, then they gotta. You're only on a visa for like 6 months.
Yeah,
maybe. I think it's 6 months.
So that sometimes people will have this stuff figured out like way ahead of time, but it happens. Another thing, Mr. Meltzer has been making kind of headlines.
Oh gosh, I know what you're going.
Lex Luger wants Sting to induct him in the Hall of Fame. WWE has
so.
reached out. Sting has even extended his stay in Vegas because he's scheduled to work WrestleCon, but he was only going to be limited. Sting has extended his stay in Vegas. I don't know if they've worked anything out for the Hall of Fame. Meltzer said he wrote in his report or said on his radio show or however the fuck he spews his bullshit. He goes,
we call him dumbass Meltzer now.
Yeah, why not? Put that up in a banner. He went up, or he basically said, he goes, if I were AEW, I would not, if I were Tony Khan, I would not let Sting do the Hall of Fame. WWE
oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, WWE takes their shots at AEW, like the whole Billy Gunn thing. Billy Gunn was not allowed. Tony Khan.
We got to have an intellectual conversation about this.
Yeah.
It's hard to do with us. Keep going.
Yeah. Tony Khan, when Billy Gunn wanted to do the DX reunion, Tony Khan said, you can do it, but they have to promote the fact that you're working for us.
Yes.
Okay? Like, give us proper promotion. And then Triple H, I guess, was going to agree to it. And then she, and then, thanks, Eric. But like, Triple H was going to agree to it. But then, like, Tony, I guess, just kept adding to it or something. To where Triple H is just like, all right, unfortunately, Billy, I can't make a deal with him or whatever. So, but they're blaming it on Triple H. But Tony, see, here's the thing. Tony Khan has taken, they called WWE the Harvey Weinstein of professional wrestling. They said Ariel Helwani's not a real wrestling journalist. He's a fake journalist for being in the crowd in Montreal, where Ariel's from.
Helwani slammed Tony as well before in the past, though.
Yeah.
And bitched about their interview, which I know Tony gave him nothing, but still.
Yeah.
We're playing devil's advocate.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Lex Luger wants his friend to induct him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, this is best
WWE allowed Lex Luger and Diamond Dallas Page to be at Sting's retirement match. Now, yes, they could not be on camera. But again, this was, AEW had taken. AEW takes more shots at WWE than WWE does AEW.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. WWE the next night after Sting's retirement match congratulated Sting on having the match. Okay.
But nobody was going to be there, obviously, for Sting.
Yeah. So the thing is that Tony Khan, I don't think, hopefully he does the right thing. Well, first of all, if Sting's just under a Legends deal, I don't know how AEW's Legends deals work, but something could be worked out if Tony Khan doesn't ask for something stupid.
Okay. Now, this is my point on this, because I actually have a nuanced view on it. Well, I don't want to say that because I feel like a douche even. I don't think anything I've ever said is nuanced. But this is my view on it. Morality, there's two things, morality and business. Those things don't coincide a lot of the time. The morality, Lex Luger is in my top 10 favorite wrestlers of all time. I love his work and his career to death. And I feel like he has been done. Your past is your past, but he has been done some of the biggest raw deals in the history of as far as like the talking about his legacy. Like him and Ultimate Warrior are the two, to where it's like it's fun and cool to shit on Lex Luger. It always has been. And it's fucked up because he was
it is. I like Lex Luger.
So do I.
And Lex Luger deserves, with every right, with his decision, to have whoever the fuck he wants induct him. He should have been in the Hall of Fame 15 years ago.
Yep.
He is finally getting in the Hall of Fame, and he deserves to have the guy who's most linked to his career than anybody and a good friend of his, fucking Sting. He should be the one, morality-wise. If we're talking just the right thing to do is to have Sting induct Lex Luger in the Hall of Fame. Now, if we talk about business, and I'm not sticking up for Meltzer at all, but on the other hand, if we talk about business, we cannot. I love the WWE. I grew up on the WWE. It's the most wrestling product I know. I fucking love WWE. I love what they've created. I love Triple H's new vision. Yeah, if you watch this show, and it was an AEW show, you'll think we're WWE shills, me and Doug. You know what side of the fence Eric's on, but Eric's all elite. But me, you would even call me a WWE shill at times, even though I do love AEW as well.
But I love WWE too. So.
I love the WWE, but we cannot sit here and act like the WWE is the moral high ground and act like the WWE, oh, they deserve to have the right thing to do for their Hall of Fame. Does Lex Luger? 100%. Does the WWE, who right now has the ID program so they can cut fucking Tony off from all the independent people so he can't sign what made his company great and he can only get old WWE guys partnering with Impact and TNA and really cutting Tony off? All Tony has is a failing New Japan to really pick from. He doesn't have any source of new talent to. They have done all these things, and you can say it's for the betterment of their own business, but you could also say it's to cut Tony's fucking nuts off. And they have constantly done it business-wise, behind the scenes, because those guys are great business people, and in the rule of business, beat the shit out of your competitor and win. They can tell you they want AEW to exist all the time for the industry, but they want to be number one, and they want what's happening now forever. They want AEW to be a very, very far number two, and only their old guys that they don't want to play with anymore, they can go there and finish out there if they want. But fucking, that's what they want, and they have proven that. And it's not like they're the most, like, you're not going to see Cody be able to come back for an AEW reunion show, like they will never, they have fucked Tony over business wise in very few ways that even we, the public, don't really get to see. But just with guys like and it's a good thing for the industry because guys are getting paid more and shit. And it's great because WWE upped their pay once AEW was a thing, and that's a big deal. But WWE has done business shit on the side and this Hall of Fame thing is kind of a business thing for them to do a rating and put it on television and shit. So if you look at it in that aspect, it does become a little bit more of a difficult decision. But of course, if we're talking about morality and the right thing to do, Lex Luger should have Sting inducted.
I mean, that's what I'm more talking about. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying.
Why should I help their business?
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Why should I help them? I should help Lex, but why should I help them?
I see both sides. No.
Should I help them celebrate anything? Fuck them.
Well, here's the thing, and this is why. Well, first of all, Dave Meltzer is no saint himself. Okay?
No.
So, thank you. But,
and I'm not agreeing with his point. I'm just saying in the whole context of it.
Well, because I could see Tony being like, okay, can you do something for me? Just like in TNA, when they wanted to induct Flair as a member of the Horsemen. Okay? Flair was still under contract to TNA at the time. They had Bruce Pritchard call and say, okay, you want Flair, we need something. And Dixie Carter even said, he's like, well, try to get John Cena. And Bruce looked at her and said, are you fucking nuts? Like, I can get somebody, but it's not going to be Cena.
He's like, we're getting Christian. And you're going to like it.
Okay. So they got Christian. All right. But it was a deal that was made.
That's because Vince didn't give a shit about Christian. He's like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. So they're going to have to make some kind of agreement. Now, again, Sting is under, I don't even know if he's under a Legends deal or not. I assume he is. Like, because
I think it's like an appearance deal or something like that.
Yeah. Because he's not wrestling anymore.
No, it's only for appearances.
So,
something tells me though that this whole conversation, I do think Tony will probably do the right thing. He's gonna let Sting do it.
I think Meltzer's
because Sting's not a regular character on his television.
No.
As a matter of fact, Sting has even said, he goes, by the way, at the end of 2025, I'm done appearing in character.
Yeah.
I'm going to be Steve Borden from 2026 on.
Yeah. He's doing the Undertaker.
Yeah.
He's pulling a tank.
He's going to be in the Crow's Nest with Steve Borden. That's going to be the new podcast next year.
He's going to do his own podcast himself.
Wait, did I just... Wait.
Nostradamus.
Oh, God.
But
Nostradamus. Oh.
But yeah, so I do think all this conversation is kind of,
I think it's just Meltzer stirring up shit. I think Tony Khan was actually thinking about it because Tony and Dave talk.
Yeah.
So I think Tony had said, hey, I'm probably going to let Sting do it. And Dave's just trying to stir up shit because that's all he's done for 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
To get people talking.
Luger's going to have Sting and Dudley.
The one thing I give Meltzer, he does get people talking.
Oh, I enjoy reading his stuff. I mean, it's the only thing it's good for is toilet paper, but I enjoy reading his stuff.
Just to be a dedicated man to the craft for so long. And then for just to be like, fuck it, I'm going to be a troll. I'm going to be a Twitter fucking troll from now on.
He's Skip Bayless of wrestling.
Yeah, pretty much.
And they actually look alike too, by the way.
But his old shit is solid. The old Observer shit and his knowledge of wrestling, you got to think, because I know the actual wrestlers will always tell you, you need to be in there, you need to be in there. But as far as wrestling knowledge, sometimes it's good to watch it on a TV, to watch it in an audience and to really understand what the guys are doing, because you can really see. Sometimes when you're doing something, it's actually hard to remember, because you're so focused on fucking doing it.
Yeah.
I will never say fans know more than wrestlers because I don't want to die. But because wrestlers know, I mean, they're in there. They're putting their fucking bodies on the line. They know. But as far as being knowledgeable on the product and everything that's ever gone on, who has watched more wrestling than Dave Meltzer? I don't know. Maybe you, but he's older, so probably not. I think Dave Meltzer has watched the majority of wrestling that's ever existed, and that's crazy. From territories to and he was there for a lot of it. He has watched a lot of fucking wrestling. So he does know something, but he has definitely chosen a style that he likes and a company that he lived through WWE being number one so fucking long and WWE ruling the roost and being the only game in town that he was like, no, I am going to have a second company and I'm going to love it and cherish it.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that
he's a loyal sumbitch.
Yeah. So, all right, we've gone about a half hour already on stuff that's not Revolution.
Well, it's surrounding Revolution and AEW and shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to bring up those couple things. One is, this page on Facebook, trying to start shit about Jamie Hayter. And then when Sean Ross Sapp said, oh, don't worry, I've got the scoop, she just interrupted. And she's like, save your video, save your paper. All right, here's what's going on. And then Sean Ross Sapp went on air anyway. And then the whole Luger thing. I do think Tony Khan's going to do the right thing because it's for a Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And Lex Luger's a legend. And Lex Luger did go to Sting's retirement match. Again, WWE didn't want him on camera.
Sting's going to have to be on camera because he's going to introduce.
Yeah. So
he'll make some kind of deal.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Khan's not. I mean, we joke about Tony Khan being extremely stupid. He's stupid creatively.
Yeah.
He's creatively dumb. As far as business goes, he might not be the greatest businessman, but there's NFL owners who are worse businessmen than him and his father.
Tony Khan has gotten too bad of a rap than he deserves.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that he's not.
He's a nice guy in a bad business, in an evil business.
He was able to get a Max deal.
That's what he is.
Yeah,
a nice guy in an evil fucking business.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to convince Max. He's like, we need this media rights deal, and they believed enough in him because they have really good stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Megan Bain is awesome. Okay. She's awesome. This whole Hurt Syndicate thing, Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, because they look like they're having fun.
They're beasts.
Okay.
They're killing it.
So they're doing well. They could get rid of the shit stain MVP, but that's another.
God.
But you know, they're having fun. Good for them. And what they're doing is actually working. Okay.
And it looks like Cope is having fun too.
Cope is a dope. Like him and Christian are part of the problem.
Yeah.
The issue?
They're the issue because you need it. They're part of the issue, and Darby Allin with this fucking fetish of climbing Mount Everest. You know, that's the issue. Darby Allin should be challenging Mox for the AEW World title right now. He should not be trying to die on Mount Everest. It's like basically he told Tony Khan, he's like, Tony, I'd rather die trying to climb a mountain than be on your fucking program right now. Even though
he was supposed to do it last year, but he broke his foot or something.
Yeah, which I think Tony did on purpose because the match he booked him, he wasn't even supposed to do the match, but he's like, you know what? You're going to have one more match before you go do your climb. And then he broke his fucking foot. Because Tony Khan realizes he's like, I don't want to lose Darby because Darby is like 99 fucking pounds.
Yeah.
All right.
You can see on the show that we're going to talk about, he was over.
Yeah. People die up there, and people who only look like they eat 2 peas a day, all right, don't really have that good of a survival rate and shit like that either. So the fact that he, like, him wanting to do this stupid fucking climb, you know, that's the problem. And Mox and Cage, or not Mox, Cope and Cage being in the main event scene when they should be helping elevate the younger talent. That's the problem.
I think we're going to see that now that
MJF
Swerve was getting a title shot.
MJF, Hangman, Darby, Hobbs, Ospreay, Swerve.
Yep.
Build around that. So
exactly. And Jay White.
I'm going to throw well, I know you're not a Jay White guy.
You can take the bitch blade and shove it up.
I'm a Jay White guy. I like Jay White.
Yeah, but the audience isn't, so that's an issue.
All right. What about Kyle Fletcher?
He bang. Bang himself. Kyle Fletcher, no. Daniel Garcia, no. Those guys can eat massive dicks.
What would have been your reaction,
yes,
Daniel, if Jay White won the title at Revolution?
If he would have won a Revolution, what would have been your reaction?
At least they're getting away from that shit. I'd be like, all right. I would have rather somebody else. Like I said, if anybody was to stumble out and grab the contract and cash in that wasn't Christian, I'd MJF. Especially he took the loss earlier. It'd be cool for him to fucking get back.
No, that would be epic.
But Jay White
signing the contract and winning.
I don't mind Jay White, and you could build around him as a babyface. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
I just work on his mic.
Yeah. Him and Cope kind of hanging out aren't bad, but I don't know. There's the guys I named is who I would build the company around. But those are the stars, in my opinion. But you do have other talent as well. AEW isn't in terrible shape, and Tony has showed that he can tell a story. He has told stories. People can suck dick with
Tony Storm and Mariah May.
And not just that, the fucking show we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
He tells like 4 stories on there that are good stories.
What I'm talking is like current AEW. Tony Storm and Mariah May was an awesome story. The whole Ricochet Swerve thing.
Yeah.
All right. Ricochet stealing the robe and then Swerve getting it back. Like that was a really good story. Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay was a really good story.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they can tell the stories. It's just Tony is keeping the wrong guy. It's unfortunately he's doing what Bischoff did in AEW. He's putting the wrong guys in WCW. I mean, he's putting the wrong guys on top. All right. And it's not even necessarily because the guys that are on top are demanding it and they have it in their contracts. Oh, we get a private dressing room, we get main event matches every week, and we get a ball rub. It's Tony Khan was such a fan of these guys back in the day. He's like, yep. I respect you enough. I want you at the main event. I want you at the top of my card.
Exactly.
So, but he's doing it out of respect because he has respect for what they're doing in the business. Because he's too nice of a guy to tell them you're over the hill. You belong at the bottom of the card. Yeah. Bischoff was a chicken shit. Tony Khan's just too nice of a guy.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Eric Bischoff's the one who shits on him too. So
Eric Bischoff is a chicken shit hypocrite.
That's why I don't listen to him anymore.
I mean, you could probably tell. I'm pretty sure every time he does a podcast, he probably has the cum stash from Hulk Hogan's cum after the latest ball rub.
Yeah.
Because that's all he fucking does. What's the show supposed to be about again?
Revolution.
AEW Revolution 2020. AEW has told really great stories.
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Consistently, has it been hard for them? Yes. But have they told good programs? Yes. And we're about to talk about a few of them here. So AEW Revolution 2020 is Chicago, 7,000 in attendance. The buy rate was about 100,000. We're in Wintrust Arena. The tagline is "Join the Revolution," and this is when it really felt like a damn revolution. Damn it!
Yeah.
And the big matches going into this card obviously is our world title main event between Jon Moxley. I don't know why I thought he wasn't in it for a second, but Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho, Le Champion. And then we got we have Le Champion, a little bit of the
Bubbly.
You sounded like Pepe Le Pew there.
But
Sacre Bleu, Le Champion.
But and we have MJF and Cody Rhodes.
That was a great story.
An amazing story.
I'll say, boy, that MJF boy. Yeah. I don't know why I just broke out Foghorn Leghorn.
MJF fucking looked like he got stuck in a tanning booth for 32 hours in this match, though. This is when he looked.
Wardlow was probably on top of him.
Yeah, they're both. I
forgot about Warner. Is he still with the company?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's sitting.
That's another one they should build around.
Yeah, if they can bring him back on TV, fucking build around him.
Dude, that dude's a beast.
I think that one died.
And going back in preparation for this, I watched the cage match with him and Cody, and it was so fucking good. I forgot how good of a cage match that was. And Cody's big fucking moonsault at the end.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And obviously the other big marquee match is the tag match with the frenemies, with the Young Bucks versus Hangman and Omega. And I think those are the three big builds that this had. And then you had your other matches that we'll talk about.
Chris Statlander and Nyla Rose.
Yeah, but that's no.
That was basically here's what that was. That was we put the title on Nyla. We need somebody to work with her. We want to build up Hikaru Shida, and Statlander would make a good first opponent for her.
You know what and listen, I get it. It's hard to get shit on short notice, but maybe you should have had a plan. Tony, for being a billionaire and shit, he fucking cut a few costs at the beginning, dude, going back and watching now. Like, some of the shit looks cool, but that women's title looked like you got it from a flea.
Yeah, I remember.
Like, that fucking shit was straight out of a Walmart box.
I was going to say, they don't have that now.
I think what it was who they gave it to.
It looked tiny on Riho. That's how I knew it was bad.
It looked like a toy.
It looked like a fucking wristwatch.
Dude, it looks tiny on Riho. You got a fucking issue. That was a tiny belt. And then Nyla, it literally looked like a fucking, a toe ring. But it was, I mean, and that and the TNT belt didn't look that great at first. Like they cut a few costs at the beginning, it felt like. And also during Cody's entrance, like, if they had one speaker playing that song, it felt like you can't get a big fucking thing and like the audio, like there was shit like that where it's like you can. I get it's your first few shows, like they were still coming into their own. They still have audio issues to this day, though, let's be honest.
And
still.
Brandy vibing out to the music. It's just like, Brandy, nobody else gives a shit. You could quit dancing.
Well, that's the thing. I think it was just because of the shitty speaker. Because at first I was like, was he not? I thought they didn't start booing him till later because they weren't shit. Like during the song, you just hear that guy right, and fucking Cody's doing his shit and stuff and coming out with the Nightmare Family, but the crowd's not making a fucking sound. But then the song finally stops, and then you hear Cody. So he was clearly over, and that fucking music usually gets a big pop. But I think the speaker just fucking fucked up the audio or something. I don't know. But that was a great match. Let's get into it, and let's start with one of the building blocks of AEW and one of the guys that helped the company in its real early time and really, really, and later in his career, really showed that he could still go.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the other guy,
Jake Hager.
You son of a butt fucking stripper.
I don't know. Our mother was not that, so I don't think she would appreciate that. But
she hasn't listened in a while, so we're fine.
Can't blame her.
She only listens to Eric's show.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Our couple pre-show matches, we get Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Penelope Ford against Riho and Yuka Sakazaki, and they beat them. And then we get the Dark Order, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson, who looks like a little Dougie.
You put me in the dryer. That's actually,
there's two people in that group that you put in the dryer that look like you. Him and Silver.
Yeah. If my testicles grew facial hair, that would be Silver and Stu Grayson. I think I just killed Eric.
I mean, that was a bald man. Because then you had fucking SCU.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a bunch of, that was like, you're playing pool. And the Dark Order beat SoCal Uncensored after 9 minutes and 25 seconds. But we start the show with Hager and Dustin Rhodes. One last ride that's still going on, by the way, 5 years later. But
right? He's approaching 60. He's 60 already.
And he's still the man. That little mini program with MJF was fabulous.
One last ride. It's like he's trying to drive to Hawaii.
Him and Jake put on a good match. I think the wrong guy won. But I understand that an Inner Circle guy, if Sammy was going to lose later, Jake probably should have won. This was a good, and this is like when they were really keeping it balanced and when it was really like, no, we don't just have little flippy guys or fucking, this is two big, strong, believable guys going at it, fucking putting on a physical contest, like a fucking real wrestling match. And I thought, like, Hager's never been Doug's cup of tea. I saw a lot of promise in him early on, and I thought he was going to be something. Right now, today, I will confidently tell you that if we ever did a top 10 biggest busts in wrestling ever, he would be on my list. Yep. He is a guy that never realized his potential. He
didn't bust on his wife. His wife is kind of cute.
And good, he got a hot wife, but he's also a fucking.
Not that I should really be the judge on ugly, but
she. I mean, but here he was pretty good in this match. I felt like in AEW he was kind of lazy earlier, like they started to do something with them. I like this, and I like that little MMA match with Wardlow.
Yeah, that was cool. The only thing I really know of it, I don't know much about women except for the inflatable ones, but my doll's still on back order.
When is Sheila getting here?
I mean, the order went through, but it's still on back order. Place is worse than Ringside Collectibles.
It's probably because you're making payments on it.
They said I could pay as low as 75 cents a month. All right. Not my fault. The fucking thing cost $6,500.
locked in for a little while there. This was a good match, a hard-hitting match.
That's the way to change
And
the subject.
Like I said, Jake Hager did perform pretty well here. So I'll give him his credit here. But I do think that he just and the inner circle got him over, but it wasn't because of him, in my opinion.
No.
But Dustin was a good opponent and a good dance partner and someone that he plays that old veteran card against a young fucking hungry guy so good. And Dustin's good. Like he just did it against MJF on TV recently. Like he is good, and he was coming off that huge match with Cody at fucking Double or Nothing. I mean, that was months before, but still. And he was a part of the Nightmare family. It was cool to see these two on the card, and it was kind of a perfect opener. So I'll actually give this 3 out of 5 stars because I thought it was pretty fun.
I'll agree. I'll say 3.
I'll agree. I say 3 too.
Like I said, I would have liked Dustin to win here, especially since Cody wins later or loses later.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Darby Allin versus. Or actually, no. Are you guys gonna give it? We all give it a rating, right? Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara.
It was a nice feud. I like this feud.
It was a fun.
These two always had good chemistry.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. And I would have put Sammy on the list of people who I say to build around if he was wrestling in AEW. But Sammy was the man. And these are two, like, when you think of AEW, and you look at this match, like, oh, these are two unopposing looking guys that are just going to fly around. And it's kind of what they do, but it's fun. And it's two young, hungry motherfuckers that are fighting for the same thing. And they both want that spot. So it's like these two young guys fighting for this spot. And Darby's like unhinged and will do anything. And Sammy's a little more of a preppy, like, don't touch the hair type of guy. So, like, I did enjoy this match. I thought it could have gone maybe a little longer.
Yeah. Well, because they did more stuff on the outside than they did on the inside.
It only went 5 minutes.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm never one of those don't touch the hair type of guys because I got nothing to touch. Unless you go downstairs below the belt, and then I'm going to file a report on you.
Or say thank you. Depends on how the night is.
It depends on who it is, too. Like, if it's Maxine Dupree, I'm saying thank you. If it's Otis, I'm saying not too rough.
Yeah. And, oh, yeah. Yeah, this match was fun. Fireworks. It didn't last long. I didn't like seeing Jake Hager back out there already to help Sammy back. We just got rid of that fucking asshole. Why does he have to be back?
But back in the next match.
But it was a little Scott Norton for me. But,
yeah, oh God.
But it was a good, fun match, and Darby looked really badass. So I'll give it a 2.5.
I'll give it 2.5.
So he also says 2.5.
Yeah.
I'll say 2.6. Because Clint is not here to bitch about decimals.
So now we got the big tag match next.
Best match of the card. Even though I hate one of the assholes involved.
You hate like everybody except for Hangman.
Well, here's the thing. Nick Jackson is okay. He's the less douchey of the brothers. Kenny Omega,
right?
Huh?
Is he the owner?
No, I think the piece of shit Matt is the older. Okay, Nick Jackson is not as douchey as his brother.
I can't agree with that.
Kenny Omega is, and Kenny Omega has kind of grown on me. He is a really good wrestler. I just think that they overhyped a lot of the Tokyo Dome bullshit.
And they kind of had to because he was the VP. So they had to at first.
Like, the whole thing, I didn't think the matches with Okada were that good. Like, I know they were, for a lot of fans, especially when I was on the THT show, they were 60-minute cum fests.
Well, and I like them too. they're not 8 stars, but I do.
No,
like
they're not.
They're not. They were
4 or
just
5
like
stars.
they were okay. They were 3.5, 4-star. Okay, maybe.
I would agree with that.
But they're not like they were just overhyped, and I get sick of people overhyping it. So that just made me hate Kenny Omega. Okay,
But you also got to
Was I
think
one of them?
you're not a New Japan fan. You didn't. You're watching those matches out of context as it compared to like Die Hard, follow everything, the whole tournaments and all the fucking shit.
Yeah. Matt Jackson, I cannot say anything good about. He's a piece of shit. He's got that face that you want to put a chainsaw through. He's just, there's no good qualities about it. However, this match, and I love Hangman Page.
There you go. At least we got a shout out.
All right. This match was one of the best tag team wrestling matches
he's ever seen.
In probably, it happened in 2020. I'd say it's probably the best tag team match I had seen since anything, involving Beer Money and the Motor City Machine Guns and their matches that they had back in 2010.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, tag team wrestling kind of shit itself. Here, this was one of the best matches I had seen in a long time.
Yeah, and it was good. And here's the thing. I see what you're saying about Matt Jackson, but if you went singles route with either of the Young Bucks, if you ever had the conversation, do we split up the Young Bucks? Matt's the one that has the money in him because he could be a world-class heel.
Yeah.
I think you could actually get either, if not the main event, close to the main event, heel run out of Matt Jackson. Whereas I think Nick would flounder. But I think Matt actually has – I think Matt's the more talented one.
He's the party of the bunch.
In my opinion. I think – and Nick might be the more tolerable, so I think you would probably disagree with that. But I think the money's more in Matt than it is in Nick.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He makes a better heel because that's what he is in real life.
Well, yeah, he's got the mutton chops and just the way he just comes across as a douche.
Yeah. And by the way, remember back in 2021 when they all, it was the Bucks and Gallows and Anderson and Kenny Omega, like they were all hanging out, like they were back to being like a version of the Elite Bullet Club, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And they all grew mutton chops. Like all 5 of them had fucking mutton chops. Like
Kenny with the mutton chops was terrible.
Like it was they all had mutton chops, and Callis, I think Don Callis tried to grow them out, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So he's just like he stayed clean shaved. But all 5 of them, and I'm like, oh my god, they're a gay biker gang.
Even Adam Cole when he came, right?
That's what they looked like.
Didn't Adam Cole have one when he came in too?
Not necessarily, not the mutton chops, no. But it's like if Sons of Anarchy was a gay porno, it would be it would be what the Bullet Club or the Elite or whatever fucking looked like.
You're insane.
That's what it looked like to me.
I agree with you, but you're insane.
Sons of Anarchy fans are gonna come after my ass. Well, hopefully not just my ass. It might prove my point.
Jesus. This match was really good. They built up from it from the beginning. It went 30 minutes. They gave it a lot of time. And when JR said at the end, this is tag team wrestling, it really felt like, that. And by the way, everybody likes to shit on JR, old JR and AEW. This was a really good called card by him, in my opinion. I thought he had a lot of good calls on this one.
Yeah,
and especially during this tag match. When he's like explaining, he's like, listen, they might be friends and everything, but the champions make more money. It's the way it is. The champions make more money.
Yeah, which, by the way, he's not lying.
Yeah, and he's like, you got to fight. I mean, you put the friendship aside and you got to go to war. And just the way he was talking about it and analyzing it. And it's like, you're right. And it was like an old veteran, like really, really talking to you. And I thought it worked.
We love.
Yeah, and I thought it worked with the match. And him and Tony riffed off each other well.
Well, they've also been
I do like
friends.
that. I do like that they don't use JR that much anymore. They only for the important matches.
Yeah, and he's getting older. But yeah, I thought he was good here, and I thought the wrestling was really good, and I love how they built up from the beginning. Hangman's kind of feud with them, and Kenny being like, "Dude, this is our homies," and like all the spots in the beginning that really and then and then you get the arcade match and fucking all the false finishes, and it really worked. And I love the ending of fucking Hangman hitting the one-winged angel. It doesn't get it, so he fucking hits 2 buckshots to fucking snipe out the Bucks. And that's how he wins the match.
Took off his head.
Because honestly, going back, I forgot that they kept the titles here.
Yeah.
So I was expecting a title change. I was like, oh, shit.
I think they won it at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, they beat FTR for the belts. The Bucks did.
Oh, yeah.
Because FTR beat Omega and Hangman.
Like, it was funny how afterwards it looked like he was going to hit the buckshot on Kenny Omega. And then he's just like, nah, I'll hold the ropes open for him instead. And then, like, they kind of put their heads up against each other like that. And it's just like, oh, they're having a moment, even though Hangman thought about taking his fucking head off.
Yeah, and for a second, he was, like, really about to fuck him up.
And then Tony Schiavone and Excalibur just like, are we seeing something?
Yeah, Tony's like, I think I just saw something.
Yeah. And Excalibur's like, I saw it too. 5.
Yeah. And also, since we were talking about the commentary, not to shit on anybody, but not having that Alex Marvez. These 3 were a way better team.
Yeah.
Schiavone, JR, and Excalibur are way better than Marvez fucking. That's his name, right?
Alex Marvez, yes.
Fucking JR, and because Double or Nothing was it was a little rougher, the commentary. But here it was actually really solid.
And I think Cody knew that because Tony Schiavone was not under contract with AEW at the time of that event.
He was in the front row. You could see him on camera. He's in the front row.
Yeah, but he wasn't under contract though. He showed up because he was a friend,
and he's wearing a t-shirt. It's weird.
Yeah,
seeing Schiavone in a t-shirt.
But but he was friends with Cody and Dustin.
Yeah,
that's why he was there. And then Tony heard how bad Alex Marvez was at commentary, and he's like, Tony, you want a job? Because Tony kept saying, hey, I'm not commentating anymore. I'm not doing that shit anymore. But because Cody asked him, he's like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And here we go 5 years later, and he's still doing okay.
I mean, he tries to, he puts on a good face, and he does believe in what he's calling.
Who, Schiavone?
Yeah.
Yeah, Excalibur's that commentary team now needs a shakeup for sure.
Yeah.
Excalibur, he's never been my cup of tea as a play-by-play guy.
I think Taz is okay.
Too indie for me. I like Taz. Like I was saying for a while, I really liked the prospect. If Corey Graves was really unhappy, I mean, they just put him on Raw, so maybe now that they're rubbing his pussy a little bit, it'll never happen. But I love the idea of Corey Graves and Taz as a commentary duo. I think those two would be a fucking dry sense of humor, fucking love fest.
Well, here's the funny thing. You mentioned that, and this is just real quick. You realize that Carmella had to bitch about what they did to her in order for WWE to put Graves back on Raw?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, no, I mean, Carmella, that's not like necessarily, that wasn't Carmella's like main objective, but she bitched about how they ghosted her and they just released her.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 2 weeks after that gets released, he's back on Raw. Which, by the way, the only reason why he was on Raw is because ESPN told McAfee, oh, yeah, you're not going overseas because we need you to do this fucking program at the scheduled times that you are scheduled to do your show.
Yeah.
It's like NHL Network, they told Jackie Redmond, I'm assuming they told Jackie Redmond that you can go on the European tour, but only for 2 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
we need you here for this first, because we got some big games coming up. And I'm pretty sure NHL Network the NHL was not happy about the fact that WWE made her miss Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final last year.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll be for sure
a
they're
good
not going to let
interviewer.
her
I
miss that this year.
I like her, and she's good for interviewing Punk.
Yeah, interviewing Punk, interviewing Jey Uso, interviewing Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, she's good.
And she does a hell of a job. Her and Tessitore do a hell of a job with the kickoff shows and the post shows.
She's cute.
All right, let's give the match a rating. I'm gonna go 4.8.
I said 5.
I'm going to say 5 too.
Fucking Mercs.
Yeah.
All right, we got Nyla Rose and Chris.
I look
Statlander.
nothing like Mark. He has hair.
Mark who? Briscoe?
McGee.
Oh,
I was just trying to give a shout out to a buddy.
hi, Mark. We got Nyla and Chris Statlander.
Oy. Nyla Rose looked like she was lost out there.
She looked like she was gassed. She was tired.
Yeah.
She was never the big monster that they needed her to be.
She's not Nia Jax.
No, which is crazy to even.
They wanted
say.
her to be like Awesome Kong.
Yeah, she's definitely not that.
No.
Would you say Awesome Kong or would you say Nia Jax?
At the
Awesome
time, they
Kong.
wanted her to be Awesome Kong because Nia Jax was the shits back then. So at the time, they were clearly going for Kong.
Because didn't
Nia
they bring
Jax-
Awesome Kong in the same time?
Nia Jax's
Right.
evolution has been amazing.
Yeah. Well, I think they had Awesome Kong in for a little bit, and then
Yeah, she was with Brandy doing that shit.
and then they got rid of her because they didn't get rid of her at first. They were going to have her. She had to go do the Glow show,
Yeah,
Okay.
and
I
then
thought she got pregnant. Or was that some WWE?
that was WWE.
that was WWE, and that's a sad story in itself because when she had from what I understand, I don't know how true it actually is, but from what I read,
Yeah,
it was unfortunately she gave birth to a stillborn,
yeah.
Oh,
and it was it's tragic because she really wanted to be a mom. So it's a tragic story. It's something you can't really make fun of. Even I can't make fun of it, and I can make fun of just about anything.
All right, this match was.
I was gonna say, don't look at me surprised. You've seen my work.
And this is the one a lot of people, and I did not want this to be AEW was good back then and it sucks now. Because that's not what I'm saying. And I did not want to, I don't want to do that. And I'm not here to fucking do that.
yeah.
Doug said that at the beginning of the show, but I'm not here to do that. So,
But I gave it a couple of flowers. I mean, they were dead, but I gave it a couple of flowers.
it's in one strict area where AEW has clearly gotten way, way, way fucking better. Women's division.
Yeah.
They have they have one of the best women's divisions in wrestling.
Megan Bain, Chris Statlander, Mercedes might not be able to talk, but she can go in the ring.
She's not a bad talker. Megan Bain should be not the first one you named. You got Toni Storm, Mariah May, Mercedes. Like, I mean, Soraya's still there. You got a lot of fucking talented women.
Well, Megan Bain is like the newcomer, and she's being built.
Yeah, she's
Like
a beast, but she's been there for like a few months.
She's been on TV for a few months. She's been under contract since 2022. Tony just didn't know what to do with her.
She does look impressive and awesome right now.
Yeah. Thunder Rosa's still there. If they can figure out what to do with Thunder Rosa. Rumor has it is that Athena's going to come in and work a program with Mercedes, which that'll be good because they've never wrestled each other. They've teamed, but they've never wrestled each other.
That should be interesting.
You feel like sometimes sitting next to me, you need to be wearing windshield wipers.
Yeah, dude, it just feels like a national hazard. Like I'm either getting smacked in the face or spit on or fucking
Fucking succotash.
This match was a 1-1-8.
I'd say 1-4.
I'll give it a 1-5.
Statlander's always been awesome though, and they could still make her a star. She's one that you can still build
I think they
around.
should have dropped the title here.
Me too. But they just gave it to Nyla at the time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say something about that because on the poster, they still have Rhea as the champion. She was still holding the belt.
Well, I mean, the poster was made like a few months prior, I think.
That's true. That is stupid as fuck, isn't it?
No, they never updated that.
Rio's not even on the card. Well, she's on the pre-show.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they were doing the whole Britt Baker heel turn at the time, right?
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
Or what was probably a heel turn.
Hey. All right, next up we
Just
have...
because I spit on you doesn't mean you can flick me.
All right, I'm sorry. We have MJF with Wardlow, with Cody, with everybody else. Because he's got Arn Anderson, who's hilarious in this with his little play sheet and everything. The coach. And
Which really is just a dinner menu from Denny's.
and Brandy, who's a world-class, really. So is Arn Anderson...
No, I don't know if that's actually it, but that's what it fucking looked like.
That's what they say about, what's his name, too? The Walrus.
Oh, Heyman?
No, the football Walrus.
Oh, Andy Reid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would kind of say maybe Arn Anderson's the Andy Reid of wrestling managers.
They look a lot alike.
You gotta look like Andy.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you that sheet of paper. I don't know if it's a menu from Denny's, but I'm pretty sure it might be catering's menu. It's like, all right, Cody, here's what we're gonna
do brisket.
We're gonna do a brisket, maybe get a tuna club sandwich on here, get some fries, a cup of clam chowder, maybe.
All right, you're making me hungry. I haven't eaten
Neither have I.
that. Now I'm ready.
I feel like the more hungry I get, the more dumber I get.
Well, you must be pretty fucking hungry.
All the time.
He's always starved. You had Dustin here. You had Brandy, who's a great trophy wife and I love it whenever she walks Cody out to the ring. I know nobody liked anything else she did in AEW, and the Nightmare Collective stuff and all that stuff was rough, but I liked her here with what is it, Team Nightmare? Or are they the American?
They're the Nightmare Family.
Nightmare Family.
Nightmare Family.
Which Stephen Amell was part of that, by the way.
Well, good for Arrow. But how many universes does he need to be a part of? But
Well, I think he's part of the WWE universe now.
MJF bit his toe. He bit the man's toe.
Which by the way, like that is that is one of those things to where, like, I'm sure MJF was just trying to appeal to a lot of the foot fetish psychos out there. But a lot of those, they're not necessarily into the men biting each other's tootsies. Usually it's, two women biting the tootsies that might get you off or whatever. Not that I'm speaking from experience or anything.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it at all.
Yeah.
He bit his toe. They beat the shit out of each other.
Just thank God he kept the sock on.
This was a great match.
He was.
I just didn't know.
Great storytelling, great chemistry. These two
That was a little aggressive.
Well, I mean, I thought you were going to go and not stop going, so I wanted to put it out there. I liked it.
These two always had great chemistry. Great storytelling.
Yeah.
It was great. The wrong guy won, though. I know MJF needed it, but Cody was hot, and it felt like after this they didn't really know where to go with Cody.
Yeah.
I mean,
forgot
that
Cody
Team
lost.
Title
They
run
gave
was
him the licorice belt.
Yeah, and that was cool, and I do love the run with Brody. But after that, they really kind of ran out of shit for him, it seemed like.
Well, the funny thing is that, like, they didn't really necessarily know what to do with him, but yet when he's the only one fucking showing up to work because there's a fucking pandemic going on and everybody else is trying to stay home and be safe, and like him and like 9 other guys are showing up to work every week, so it's got to be the same 10 people in matches.
Yeah.
Which again, you know, staying home during the pandemic, which was what you were supposed to fucking do. Some people decided not to. Some people decided to use their connections to buy a governor.
And build their own state.
Yeah. So,
well, build it, pal.
Yeah, we're gonna build this Thunderdome, pal. Tony Khan's just fucking. They didn't even use Daly's place. They used the fucking studio area of the fucking. Like some of the matches took place from Cody Rhodes' gym.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
didn't they use where TNA used to go?
No. They were either at Daly's place or they were at Cody's gym.
Okay.
It depends, because I think Atlanta and Florida, or I think Georgia and Florida both had different protocols in place.
Yeah. Of course,
Like,
Florida different from everybody else.
But this was a great match. This was a hot match. The crowd loved it. This was a perfect babyface versus heel scenario.
Yeah.
And they built this up with the lashes and the cage match. That's why when it's like they don't know how to tell story, and I know this is Cody's story, but still, Tony's still the booker. This was a great story.
He has to approve it, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I thought this was a really good, well-done story, and it got Max over in a huge way. And I do think, even though I said the wrong guy won, this was a win that meant a lot for Max. So him hitting them with that brass ring, I don't have any problem with. And the people, it didn't hurt Cody stock at all, because as he's leaving, they're chanting, Cody, Cody, like they still love him. And it's crazy going back and watch it. And you and me, Eric, isn't it crazy for us to go back and watch this? Because
especially Cody.
Dude, because we were so in and on the Revolution, and I know we still are. But we were still in on we were so in on the fucking Revolution, and Cody was the Revolution for me.
Oh yeah,
that's why it hurt so hard. Because I was like, what? Because Cody was my guy in this shit. Every time I was like, I'm buying.
I don't know how
you see him.
You forgot how over he was in AEW.
He was so. I mean, he's over now, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But it's
I don't know what happened where AEW fans turned on him.
But it just, I can't believe, like, his career, the trajectory that it took is insane. Like, I have watched this guy since, like, 2009, and I really became a fan of him here. Going into the Double or Nothing match, Cody kind of became my guy. And then, I kept, he was the one for me. And in AEW, even though that sounded a little romantic.
Yeah.
But he was the one for me, the American Nightmare.
Yep.
The fact that you just got soft spoken and I'm the creepy one.
Well, you were talking about foot fetishes earlier, so. But
I was analyzing what
analyzing feet. But no, this was a great. Cody is the way his career has gone has been nuts.
I'm going there.
Because watching it here. Like, I'm trying to go back, and, like, I remember us, was Eric over for this one? I don't know.
No, he was not.
But going back, and I remember you and me talking about this so much at the time, and we loved him so much, and we were so into, we never thought he was going to fucking be WWE champion.
Exactly.
To go back then and just think that guy that we believed in him, and we knew he was going to fucking do something. But I didn't know he was going to be the WWE champion. I thought he was going to fucking make AEW the biggest.
If you told me in 2020 that Cody would be in WWE and main eventing WrestleMania in 2025, I would call you crazy.
It's insane.
2020. I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be the biggest star in AEW history.
Well, we don't know what went on. We don't know what went on behind closed doors to make Cody leave.
No, and we'll never know.
Yeah, because nobody's ever going to say anything. Because Cody has enough respect for those guys. I mean, he shouldn't have respect for Matt Jackson, but that's another story.
The Young Bucks will do a tell-all at some point.
Yeah, they'll tell their side of the story, which is about as clouded as a fucking Twister in Texas.
That one's for podcasts in like 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah,
that's when we'll get that.
Maybe
when
we'll be
Cody-
big enough where we can get Cody on and ask him.
Yeah, maybe we'll be.
Well,
big by then when
the
he's
thing
60.
is, more than likely, when Cody left, Tony probably had him sign an NDA.
Yeah, but those even expire after a while.
Well, because like Tony Khan has everybody has you sign a fucking NDA if your stool sample doesn't come back clean. Fucking. Oh, you failed the drug test for marijuana. Sign the NDA. Your pregnancy test came out positive. Sign the NDA. Somebody stole your tuna salad at lunch. Sign the NDA.
I'm gonna ask you guys this quick question.
No, we didn't steal your tuna.
If Cody never went to AEW, and would he be in the position he was in today in WWE? If he skipped the AEW and went back to WWE?
Oh no,
Nah.
because that respect would have never been gained by the audience either.
Yeah,
because we needed to see him do that, to physically see him say, "My dad died. They won't let me be Cody Rhodes. They're making me be this stupid thing that I hate. I have to leave. I got to stand up for myself and say, fuck these people. They have fucked me for years. They've fucked my family. And I got to say, fuck you." And he did it. And he made a name for himself. He made a company and he made us believe in this fucking thing. And then he fucking came back. And the more intriguing question for me is, what would he have done if he would have stayed? Do we just get the heel run? And does he become the biggest heel in AEW and then put the belt on him? Because you can do that when you're a bad guy. That's the thing about that rule. Like, as far as I'm a bad guy, I'm the EVP, rule reversed. I'm a title match this Sunday. I'm in it, baby. Like, he could have easily done that because the crowd, I don't think the AEW crowd turned on him because they hated Cody Rhodes. I think the crowd really wanted him to be a bad guy because they saw that he could be a really good bad guy.
It's similar to like John Cena, where they wanted John Cena to be heel.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
I think it's half that, and I think it's the half, fucking the marks falling for the dirt sheet shit.
Yeah.
And Young Buck fans and shit.
Yep.
And shit like that. Because I'm not saying that the Young Bucks fed into that stuff online. But I will say that, like, they have their own fans separate from like the AEW fans, it seems like. And it's weird. And it like meshes in a weird way. And Cody, I think, brought a different flavor. It might be as simple as fucking what everybody says, that those guys wanted PWG. He wanted fucking Jim Crockett. Tony said, I'm not going old school. I'm going PWG, Will Ospreay style. Fuck you. And Cody said, all right, fuck you. I'm leaving. It could have been as simple as that.
Yeah.
Or it could have been as simple
as it was the better.
Or it could be completely as simple as I've always wanted to be a WWE champion. There could be so many.
It could have been his plan all along. We don't know.
Yeah.
That's another one that it could have literally in the back of his mind. And he might even tell you if you ask him. When he left, the ultimate goal was to come back stronger. And he did.
Yeah,
so
100%.
But this match was a great match. I'm giving this my 5 stars because I thought this was the match of the card.
Wrong guy won, so I'm saying 4.9.
Okay. Eric?
4.8.
All right. Now let's go to a match that I don't think anybody thought would be as exhilarating as it was. Pac and Orange Cassidy with the best friends.
Here's the best part of this whole thing. When they cut the promo Thursday, the Dynamite before, and they were talking, Tony Schiavone was talking to the best friends, and he informed them that Orange Cassidy was going to get the match against Pac.
Yeah.
And Chuck Taylor said, Tony, Sunday at Revolution, or Saturday at Revolution, he's gonna try.
That should have me die. I remember that promo.
Yeah. Trent goes, we don't know that. We don't know if he's gonna try. Do not get the people hyped up. Like,
Chuck E.T. is hilarious.
Oh, he's a fuck.
They should have never broke up best friends.
No, they were. But
I don't think they had a choice. I think because
Chucky
of Chuck Taylor's injury, he couldn't go anymore.
Yeah, he was done. I don't think he could physically do it anymore. But those two awesome together and a really good part of that tag division because that at first that was one of their big selling points is we got this really good tag division.
Yes.
And they were a part of that.
Yeah.
It sucks that they never held the AEW championship. They were the first. They were one of the first AEW tag teams.
Yeah, they should have won the titles at some point. But only so many teams can. That's what makes them so prestigious.
Yeah.
But listen, I thought this was a fun match. Cassidy tried. It was you can do a lot with your hands in your pockets, apparently. He is not everybody's cup of tea. Tony really likes him, and AEW fans do have an affinity for him. So
they have a soft spot for him.
They do have a soft spot for him. He's the one like weird indie gimmick that people kind of really fuck with. So I will give this one a 3 because I think Pac took it so the juxtaposition of Pac taking it so seriously and Orange Cassidy not, but starting to throughout the match was fucking awesome. And I thought it made it a fun, entertaining match.
So I'm gonna say 3-8 because we did get the start of the Death Triangle.
Yeah, but what did that do?
Yep.
Well,
and looking back at it, wow.
It was just another stable. Yeah, but
I mean, I liked all three guys.
Me too, but they didn't do shit.
Well, that's because Penta and Phoenix kept getting injured, and then Penta. Well, they both realized because Ray Phoenix is going to end up in WWE. Like they're already running the fucking vignettes for him.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is that he's gonna be on SmackDown while Penta's on Raw.
Oh,
Which
okay.
is
I
the
didn't
right
know that.
thing.
I thought they were going to team them. I thought they were going to be a tag team.
No, because Phoenix's vignettes are running on SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
So they're splitting them up. They might not admit that they might not reveal that they're brothers yet.
Phoenix could do some crazy shit too.
Yeah.
Save that for a year from now where they can face each other at WrestleMania or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Penta and Braun is one of the more things I'm excited for about WrestleMania. So keep Penta on his singles thing. Because he's hot. Everybody loves him. So it would be kind of fucked up for him to be like, all right, he's in a tag team now.
Yeah.
As much as I love Ray Phoenix, but Penta's on this hot kind of baby face. Like he's one of the bigger baby faces on Raw. Like there's people that watch, like Danielle that we do the show with and the breakdown. She watches that show for fucking Penta. And a lot of people do now. So you can't just go from that to, okay, you're going for the tag belts now, buddy. Not that the tag is lesser, but.
You need to tell the story. Build it up.
You need to keep him going. Have some guy that he can't beat and then bring Ray in.
Yep.
There's some guy that's cheating with a partner and then you bring Phoenix in. All right. Main event time. We have Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho with Santana and Ortiz. Now, this is the result of the number one contender tournament. Pac beat Darby, Moxley beat Sammy, and Moxley beat Pac. Jericho tried to get Moxley to join the Inner Circle. This was kind of a fun build in its own, too.
Yeah.
And Moxley smashing the shit, the brand new car.
Yeah, like he took it, and then when Jericho stabbed him in the eye with the car key.
Yeah. They had some good shit going into this. And the whole eye patch, and that was a cool spot in the match when he took it off. He's like, I can see.
And Tony Schiavone's like, oh my God, I think he can see. And Moxley mouthed it, and he's like, yeah, Tony, that's what he just said.
As I said earlier, this is the Mox that we love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy, because if they do Moxley and Jericho right now, everybody's going to groan and be pissed. But the fact that this was the main event and everybody was here for it, Jericho was a super over heel, and he was a cool heel back then. Him coming in, this was another reinvention of Chris Jericho. Everyone sees him as the guy that's up his own ass now, and he is. But here, he did successfully after List Jericho, which was a great last run and fucking WWE, and then doing the Painmaker shit in Japan. Le Champion, little bit of the bubbly Jericho was fucking awesome and cool and fun. And when he would when he went up against Cody, he's talking about Dusty, like he was taking it there. And he was like, fucking when they started chanting the "We the People" at Anger, and he's like, "No, it was never over. It was stupid then, and it's stupid now." It's like he was and calling the fans a mark. He's like, "That's a shoot." Like
his theme song was awesome. I always sung to it.
And that's the thing, is that now it's just sad that the only over he was in, like, he's been in the last 12 months, the only ovation he got is when he got his face ripped off in Terrifier 3.
Yeah.
We need to bring that theme song back.
Terrifier 3?
No, his theme song.
Like, to go from singing to a man's song to chanting "Please retire" needs to be studied.
Yeah.
Because that is crazy. Because he was over as a babyface in AEW after this. So, like, it's just nuts.
Because he does the thing with Moxley, and then he's, they do the stuff. They kind of finish their program they started with the Elite.
Yeah.
Then he moves on to Orange Cassidy, which was fucking hilarious when he called out the baddest man on the planet and Orange Cassidy walked out.
Yeah. The Mimosa Mayhem match was amazing.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
And
I love the debate with Bischoff.
Yeah. And then the MJF thing, and then the build there and how cool that was. And then, so, like, there was so much good that he was a part of.
Yeah.
It's just, it sucks that the legend that he is just kind of, like,
died down.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody, though. But, I mean...
Well, look at in sports. Aaron Rodgers, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And then he wasn't ready to leave. Green Bay was ready for him to leave.
And he goes to the Jets.
It goes to the Jets. He sucked. I mean, unfortunately, he's turning into Brett Favre.
Yeah, now he might go to the Giants.
He might go to the Giants or Vikings.
Brett Favre at least got...
Well, no, the Vikings said, "Fuck you, we're not taking it."
Good.
They learned their lesson from Brett Favre.
Yeah. And the Steelers might still be an option, I think. So
Don't they have Russell Wilson?
Yeah, but I think they're thinking about getting rid of him. But my point is that, like, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and then they weren't ready to leave, but Green Bay was ready for them to leave, and then they just fell off. Jericho, he's not ready to leave, obviously. He likes it, but the fans are ready for him to leave.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that Tony Khan's going to listen to the fans and get rid of him.
Because I think he's got a huge soft spot for Jericho.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be... I think he could be good on commentary.
Yeah.
He has been good on commentary.
Yeah.
He had the fucking job on Rampage.
Yeah.
Give him that with Taz.
Yeah. Him, Taz, and Excalibur were awesome on fucking... it was Taz, Tony, and him. And then they took him off and they put Matt Menard on there, who's also really good at commentary.
They got rid of the fucking show.
Yeah. They got rid of the show because that was one of the things that Max asked for. Is like, go back to 2 shows, please.
Yeah. And then they put Tony Storm's big return on that show.
Yeah.
That was just fucking crazy. This match was an amazing main event. This felt like a good payoff for the first story arc of AEW. Like, if you look at it from... Because this was their last before the pandemic, and that that happens shortly after this. And then, pandemic wrestling is like its own era.
Yeah.
So, like, the initial 2019 AEW starting at Double or Nothing, all the way to Dynamite and all the storytelling there, to Full Gear, I think it all out Full Gear. This was like the end of that story arc.
Yeah.
And I think this is like, and Tony said he was having problems with the booking back then, so he went back and he fucking really worked hard booking and storytelling on the way to this show. And if that's true, he did a great job. He did a great job with this show.
Fantastic job.
And you got to give it to Tony Khan. Everybody likes to say what they want. Tony Khan, AEW Revolution 2020, you booked an amazing pay-per-view with amazing stories on it.
Absolutely. It's just, it still boggles my mind to this day with the pandemic, and everybody was just going to kind of go around business as usual. Then Tom Hanks announced he has fucking COVID.
Yeah.
And now we're like, oh, we got to shut the world down. I guarantee you, if Rob Schneider would have tweeted, hey, I've got COVID, they would have been like, nah.
Rob Schneider.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Tom Hanks is that popular.
Yeah. Even though he hadn't made a good movie in like 5 years. But yeah, no, Revolution was one of the it was definitely a highlight pay-per-view for AEW. Great tag match. Cody and MJF was amazing.
Main event
Was awesome. Yeah, they built a really good story arc there.
exactly.
Yes. Overall, main event, I'm going to give a 4-7. Because like I said, Jericho super over, but this is a fat Jericho. He got ripped since then. This match was good, but it was really, the crowd really helped this one. But
especially in Chicago.
Yeah, it was a big. It felt like a big fight feel, and that helped make it. And the big title change really helped. The action in it was good. But it really helped from the circumstances and the spectacle, too.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 4-7.
We're talking title match, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
4-6.
Again, 4-7.
All right. Now, as far as the whole show, I would give it a 9.3 out of 10. I thought this was expertly paced. I thought this had great matches. There was not much filler and ass. You just had one division that wasn't doing that well at the time, and that's pretty much the only pee break. Besides that, I said, I even like Dustin and Jake. Everything on here I thought served a purpose and kind of meant something and helped put on a great show.
Yeah. I'm gonna go 9-5. Awesome tag team matchup. 3 really good matches on the card, a couple of decent matches. Pac and Orange Cassidy for not really belonging on the show proved that they belonged on the show. So yeah, 9-5.
I'll give it a 9-3. A solid show. One of their better revolutions. Their first one. It's the first AEW Revolution.
Yeah.
So they did a good job with their first one. Solid, all around solid show. Yeah, great tag team match, great main event, great opener. Good opener.
Yeah.
The women's match was okay. I mean, the women were still green, so can't fault them for that. It's just the wrong champion, wrong person won that. So overall, 9-3 out of 10.
All right. That was AEW Revolution, and it was a great show, guys.
Oh, fantastic.
We will not be here next week.
Yeah.
We will be on sabbatical.
Yeah.
When we return, we're going to be doing something huge.
Ooh.
Huge, Buffalo. Huge.
Something nice and big and huge.
Are you going to announce it now, or?
You're damn right I am. You want to know why?
Yeah.
We're going to go back and watch WrestleMania 40 from last year.
Ooh.
Both nights?
Both nights.
It's going to take us a month.
Hopefully Clem can come on, because me and Clem were both there, so we have great perspective from it too. So,
and coming into this WrestleMania and the Cody arc and everything, I think it'll be good to go back and watch last year's.
Yep, so I agree with that.
See everybody in 2 weeks with that. Make sure to check out the Cartoon Classic tomorrow.
Simpsons versus Recess.
Simpsons versus Recess. And we will see everybody next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Love you guys.